Welcome to Peer Meetup for training providers, a networking community of peers across the skills sectors.
Is that working? That's me, Safaraz, Saf. First question is, why is there a need for training providers to get together? Why is there a need for what we call a peer meetup? You know, we're all peers, effectively, potentially competitors in one respect, potential collaborators, partners. Why is there a need for us to get together, for us to sort of learn from each other, share ideas, resources, all that sort of stuff? Well, firstly, the world is changing. We all know that. Big, rapid changes are happening. Delays, confusion, changes, something called capping, all of that sort of stuff. Too much information, too little information, the wrong type of information, Murphy's sort of law, information, doubles, triples. We've got a lot going on. We've got obviously media on board, power of social media, Facebook, LinkedIn group. LinkedIn's going crazy at the moment. Not sure what's going on with primes. Quite a lot of primes at the moment gone into their shells, not talking to anybody. Before, you could pick up the phone, talk to a prime and ask them, and they used to be the source of knowledge. Yes, this is what you need to do. This is the rules here. You had a point of contact. I don't think that's anymore. More collaboration, bidding opportunities, joint working, that sort of stuff. So how we work has changed effectively. What we do has changed. If you've studied at university, I mean, I've got some points here that I'm making, but if you've studied at university, they used to talk about CEOs planning strategically, you know, working on your business rather than in your business and planning 5 years ahead. If you're in the training sector, in the sector that we're in, I mean, who can rightly say they can plan 5 years ahead, 3 years ahead? Is there anybody that can say that? Any hands that can actually say, yes, I've got a business plan that actually I can plan 3 years ahead, 5 years ahead, 10 years they used to talk about one day before. You know, that's a business plan that we did last year, 2016, 2017, prior to Ofsted. Ofsted came, we had to obviously adjust that. Then what's actually happened since then is we've had about 7 changes, and every single time we've had to adjust this. Changes, confusion, delays. So this is what we're taught. CEOs, you should be sitting there planning 5 years ahead, strategically planning. You can't do that anymore. If you're sitting in your office thinking 5 years ahead, something's going to go wrong. What's actually happening is your timescales have actually shrinkened. So CEOs now have really got to look at 90 days in reality. That's my view anyway. There's going to be some people here, we're all sort of academics from the education sector. You're going to change your mind. I'm sure Stuart's got a view on this as well, but effectively what we need to do is think slightly differently. Yes, fine, you have to have a vision. Yeah, there needs to be a vision, but our thinking style and our sort of spans are a lot shorter. How we learn has changed. And, you know, I've been in the sector 16 years, education and training sector. And I can say, well, I've got 16 years of experience in education and training. Some of you can say a little bit longer. How much of that is relevant? So basically where we used to have, I mean, most of you have probably heard of this 70-20-10 model. What the 70-20-10 model basically states is that a lot of your learning is from experience, from doing things on the job, learning from on the job and doing things. Some of your learning is actually from others, from peers, from your network, and then you've got some structured courses, universities, seminars, and so forth. This is where I think the world is at the moment. Again, it's a personal perspective. This is actually shrunk. What you experience tells you is a lot less. It's more about your aptitude now and your attitude to things rather than your experience. So if you're sitting there thinking, yes, I've got experience of ESF, I've got experience of workplace learning, that relevance of that is actually less and less, and it's gradually declining. It's more moving towards, in terms of learning, it's more here. Learning from others. Learning from your peers, from your support mechanism, from networking, from here. And a little bit more on seminars and courses. As I said, if somebody turns around and says, I've got 20 years experience in the FE sector, most of that, unfortunately, is not relevant. Even if I said today, I've got experience in apprenticeship 6 years, quite a lot of it is out of date, it's not relevant anymore. So effectively, all of us, to a certain extent, are on our same sort of platform now. Where before you could say, yes, experience counted a lot, it's actually less. So we're on an even sort of platform. Yes, he has got a role, but it's more to do with your skill set of reacting and adapting. My view is, again, how we learn has changed. It's a lot, again, from learning from others. Focus for today. We're going to obviously gain diversity. We're going to get opinions from the group about, obviously, what people are doing, where people feel there's a bit of a void or gap of understanding, knowledge. We're also, obviously, networking with each other. You might find a potential partner, collaborator. None of us are here potentially looking for customers. It's more to do with partnerships, helping each other, and actually effectively, learning from each other. Again, gain and share knowledge and invaluable information. And it's an opportunity for you to showcase what you do. If you've got good practice, if you're doing something which you're feeling willing to share with others, I think this is a fantastic opportunity. And this is a little bit of a map there, just to say, by collaborating, by learning from others, we innovate, we develop. And that's what Peer Meetup is about.